As the new year begins and cold weather sets in, make sure your home stays warm and reliable with an incredible deal from Premier Heating and Air. Get $500 instant rebate on a standard efficiency unit, $1,000 on a higher efficiency model, and $1,500 instant rebate on the highest efficiency models. Get a heat system checkup for only $49. So don't drop the ball on your heating and air system. Experience a Premier difference today. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com or call 478-300-2633. Restrictions may apply, cannot be combined with other offers, and this expires 1/31/2026. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
All right, well, it's good to be here. I'm glad to be here with you. Usually when I get asked to do something like this, I don't say yes right away. I like to ask if I can pray about it to see if this is something that God wants me to do or not. I don't want to just say yes to everything that I'm asked to do. Prayed about this opportunity, and I feel like God told me to be here tonight. And so I'm happy to be here. I do find that when I do this sort of thing, and this is typical of most audiences, usually when you speak to a crowd about this size, you usually have like 4 different types of people in the room. You got some people in the room that are pretty much not going to hear anything you say. They got something else going on in their mind, so you're just going to stand up here and speak for 15 minutes and not really get through. And then you got some people in the room where they kind of like what you're saying, and they feel like it resonates with them a little bit. But then shortly after they walk through the door, life goes back to normal and nothing really changes. And then you got a third group sometimes that they hear something they like and it does resonate with them and they feel like, man, that really speaks to me. And so they walk out of here and they want to make some changes in life. They want to try new things, but then the second they're bumped, the second you're challenged, the second someone says something to you or tries to get you to go back in your old ways, you fall back in and you just go back to the way things were. And then there's a fourth group, usually in a crowd like this, where they hear what you're saying, all of a sudden it resonates, they hear something they like, they want to do something about it, and they walk out the door and they're a little bit different than when they came in, and they stay different. And so my hope is the fact that I feel like God wants me to be here tonight is that there's some men in this room who are part of that fourth group. And hopefully it's some players, some young men here, but who knows, maybe some coaches as well and some older men as well. You never know how this is going to work. I appreciate the introduction. So basically, I'm going to be up here for about 15 minutes. So if you'll just give me 15 minutes, we'll be good. But I wanted to start by saying, listen, about 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I was sitting right where you're sitting right now. And what I mean by that is not here in this building, not in here, but in the same phase of life that you're in. Basically, a high school athlete, being recognized for your athletic ability, what you've accomplished on the field, something that sets you apart, makes you different from everybody else around you. There's a lot of people in this city that played football this year. Most of them are not in this room. There's something about you that's unique, and you should be proud of that. And so you should enjoy the praise that you get, the honor that you get, the success that you've had, and remember what it feels like. And I know what it feels like, and it's a pretty good feeling. But I'm 41 now. A lot has happened in the last 20 plus years. A lot has happened in my life since I was sitting right there where you're sitting tonight. And I've learned a lot in these 20 years, and so tonight in these 15 minutes that we have together, I'd like to share some of that with you. I'd like to share with you what I would want my 16, 17, 18-year-old self to hear at an event like this. We're going to keep it super simple. I got 2 main things that I want you to hear tonight, but I want to start with a question. So, you're a high school athlete with your whole life in front of you. Your whole life in front of you. And I'm sure you got dreams. I'm sure you got some goals. I'm sure there are some things that you are hoping to accomplish in life. So what do you hope the next 20 years of your life is going to look like? When you're 41, like me, and you're looking back over the last 20 years of your life, what are you hoping those 20 years are going to look like? And I want to put that another way, and the wording is pretty important. But who do you want to be in 20 years? Like, what kind of man do you want to be in 20 years? What kind of man do you want to become? Because you see, as a young man growing up, most people like to come up to you and ask you something along the lines of, what do you want to do when you grow up? Anybody ever asked you that? What do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? And then you grow up and you get older, and as an adult, people ask you a very similar question. They just say, hey, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? But there's a better question that needs to be asked. There's a better question that I want to ask you, because there's a better question that is so much more important than what do you want to do when you grow up? And that question is who do you want to become when you grow up? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And before we answer that question, we might need to start with a more basic question. And that question is this: who are you? Like, after this event, if I just sat at your table and it was just me and you and we're just talking and hanging out, and I just asked you, like, hey man, who are you? How would you answer that question? What would your response be? And I want you to think about how you would answer that question. And I want you to hear this, and this is pretty much the theme of the night. But I want to tell you something. You are not what you do. You are not what you have. And you are not what other people say about you. That is not who you are. Those are three things. Those are three big things. Those are three big lies that we are tempted to believe, especially high-performing athletes. I see it all the time. As Ron shared, I work with professional athletes for a living. I meet with professional athletes on a daily basis. These are the three big lies that every single professional athlete is tempted to believe. These are the lies that will lead us to miss out on the life that we were born to live. And so, we just met. We don't know each other, so let me share a little bit about my story and why I want to tell you that. So, as you heard, I grew up here. I grew up in Dublin, born and raised here. I graduated from Trinity Christian School in the year 2000. I came up through the Dublin City School System, but then transferred to Trinity my freshman year. I played basketball, baseball, ran track out there. But baseball was the sport that I had the most potential in as far as like playing at another level. So I graduated from Trinity, ended up going to Middle Georgia Junior College at the time on an academic scholarship, which was interesting, but on an academic scholarship. I actually didn't play much my freshman year. We had a really, really good team. And so I had to put in some work to earn a spot in that starting lineup. But as things worked out, right before the conference tournament my freshman year, our third baseman gets hurt. I get an opportunity to go in there, and I'm ready for it. And I have a great conference tournament. We make it to the regionals. I have a great regional tournament. We make it to the Junior College World Series out in Colorado. I have a great World Series, and 1 week later, I'm drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, just like that. That's how quick it can happen. I didn't even know the draft was going on the day I got drafted. That's how off my radar it was. I got a call, didn't even know what was going on. That's how quick it can happen. I decided to go back to Middle Georgia, play my sophomore year. Had a great sophomore season. Actually, if any of you know Todd Hogan at the time, he held the stolen base record at Middle Georgia. My coach had put me at first base. I thought that was going to, give the scouts the opinion that I was slow. So I said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just beat Todd Hogan's record. And I did beat it, by the way. So beat a stolen base record, got drafted again, ended up signing with the St. Louis Cardinals after my sophomore season. Everything in my life seemed to be working out just like I thought it should. Everything was going good. I had a really good first year with the Cardinals. I was considered one of their top prospects. My second year got off to a hot start, and so things were going good. But then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, injured my hip flexor and ended up having to shut it down a little bit. And for the first time in my life, I couldn't play the game that I loved. I was away from home, and I had no idea what to do with myself. No idea. No idea what to do with myself, what to do with my time. And for some reason, I felt lost, completely lost. Now remember that question. Who are you? Who are you? Because at that point in my life, I thought I knew who I was, but that moment in my life exposed the fact that I had no idea who I was. You see, my whole life, I had viewed who I was through the lens of being a good athlete. And so all of a sudden, when I wasn't having that success that I was used to having, and I wasn't able to play, and I started questioning my future in the game, I wasn't sure who I was anymore, and I had no idea what to do about that. Now, I want to stop right here for a minute, because this is the first thing that I want you to hear tonight. There is so much more to each one of you than your ability as an athlete. There's so much more to each one of you. You are more than what you're able to accomplish on that field. And I want you to know that. I want you to believe that. I want you to live into that. There is so much more to you than what you can do on that field. And that right there is one of the biggest temptations that we face as human beings, and especially a temptation that those who compete at a high level in sports face. I see this all the time with the professional athletes that I work with today. The temptation is to take on an identity that is completely tied to your performance as an athlete. To basically view yourself and who you are, basically to see your value as something that is based on what you do and how well you can do it. And that's a temptation that everybody's facing. And it's one that traps athletes all the time. All the time. And it trapped me. And as soon as I started struggling on the field, I immediately felt like I wasn't good enough. I didn't know who I was anymore. And I started scrambling for ways to start making me feel better about myself and to feel like I was someone who was worthy of respect. And so that right there began a cycle in my life that almost ruined my life and my career in the game, 100%. Man, I began to do all sorts of things that other people were doing, even though I knew they were wrong. I was going out every single night, drinking almost every single night. Not only would I do that, I would try to drink more than you because to me it was all competition. I was going to prove that I was better than you. I was trying to prove that I was somebody. Again, I didn't know who I was. So if I couldn't do it on the field, I was going to do it somewhere else. I was going to prove to you that I was somebody. Started getting wrapped up in some other stuff I shouldn't have been wrapped up in. Some stuff that I'm embarrassed to even admit. We just met, so I don't want to tell you all of it. Stupid stuff, man. Stupid. Stuff you get arrested for, stupid stuff. Just ruining everything. Doing whatever it took to prove that I was still somebody. And listen, at first it was just to get some attention. Because I viewed myself based on what other people thought about me. And so I would do things to try to get people to respect me. And then what happened is when I got healthy and I started playing again, I developed all these bad habits, this lifestyle that I was living. I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't do that and compete on the field. So then I started playing terrible. So then I'm embarrassed about how I'm playing. I feel like I'm not good enough as an athlete anymore. Man, I'm telling you, downward spiral, just chaos. Just completely throwing everything away. And that continued for 2 years. 2 years of my life. 2 rough seasons. And after 2 rough seasons, I called a teammate of mine. I said, hey man, I'm done. I'm sick of this. I'm done. Season was over. Called him. I'm out. So what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know, but I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so for me, that was it. I didn't plan to come back next season. That was it for me. And so here I was 23 years old. I had just finished my 4th year of professional baseball, and I was still in single A. I don't know how much you guys know about baseball, but single A is not very high on the ladder. Just spent my 4th year there. And I just had the worst season of my career. I was living a life full of bad decisions, and I was quitting the game that I loved, and I was completely lost. I had no idea who I was and no idea what I was going to do next. And that's when something happened. That's when something happened that woke me up and changed my life forever. 3 months after I told a teammate of mine that I was done, I was visiting a friend of mine in Los Angeles, and just went out there to hang out for a week, just to go out in LA, have a good time. Our last night there, he had a buddy who's playing in some band in this bar in Hollywood, so he wanted to go listen to his buddy play. I was like, great, that sounds good. So we're listening to his buddy. It's kind of loud in there. So I walk around out of that room to a bar in another room, and I sit at the bar, order a drink, and I'm sitting there waiting on my drink, and this girl comes by. She's going to order a drink too, but she comes up to me, and I don't know this girl. I haven't talked to her all night. And she's like, hey, what's that bracelet? What's that bracelet mean? And at the time, I was wearing a WWJD bracelet. And I didn't know why she was asking me that. And so I said, well, it means, what would Jesus do? And she looked at me like, well, why are you wearing that? Nobody's ever asked me. I don't know. I'm a Christian. That's why I'm wearing it. And then she looked at me as if she saw right through my nonsense. And she said, if you're a Christian, what are you doing here? And then that was it. I didn't get her number. We didn't hang out. I don't even remember what happened next. She must have just got her drink and left. But that messed with me. Because she, of all people, someone who didn't even know me, saw me for who I really was and saw that I was faking the whole thing. And I had a long flight home the next day from Atlanta, thinking about her question. What are you doing here? And even though it's a different question, the way she asked that question and the context in which she asked it made it the exact same question that I keep asking tonight. Who are you? That's essentially what she was asking me. Who are you? And I began to realize in that moment and over the next few weeks that I was wasting my life. I was wasting my life. I was wasting the athletic ability that God had given me. I was wasting the incredible opportunity that He had given me to play this game at a very high level. I was wasting all of it. And God was graciously waking me up and doing something inside of me that could change my life forever if I would just respond to it. If I would just trust Him. If I would just believe that He is real and that He wants what's best for me. And so 1 month later, after that event in Hollywood, I remember, got down on my knees right beside my bed, and I just told God everything. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just told Him everything. Told Him I'm sorry for the way I've been living my life, the decisions I've been making, for the way I misrepresent Him, proclaim His name one day and then go act a fool the next day. Told Him I was sorry. I didn't know what else to say. That's the only prayer I knew how to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've been doing. And I told Him, I was like, hey, from now on, I'm all in. Whatever you want, I'm all in. And I'm going to go back and play. I'm going to go back and play one more season because up to this point, I've just been wasting it. So I'm going to go back and play one more season. And if I have another bad season, I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter. I just want to play for you. I just want to show you that I'm thankful. I'm just going to give it everything I got and I'm going to do it right. And if I have another bad season, you want me to do something else, I'm fine with that too. It doesn't matter. If you want me to keep playing, maybe I'll have a good season, I'll keep playing. It doesn't matter. And I meant that. I was down for whatever. But this time I was serious. This time I was all in. And so, He showed up. I admitted everything. I apologized for everything. I asked Him to forgive me, to change my life. And you know what happened? He did exactly that. He showed up. He proved to me that He was real and that He does in fact change people's lives just like we hear about and read about. This is not just some like church sermon stuff. This is not like Jesus talk or get all the Bible answers right. This is a God who saw me in my mess and who still loved me enough to come and get me and wake me up. And when I cried out to Him and said I wanted to be different, He did it for me. He proved Himself to be real. A God who does show up. and change people's lives. And they barely have to do anything. Just cry out to him and be honest with him. And so the second thing, I told you I only got 2 things for you. The second thing I want you to hear tonight is, listen, the first thing is that big question, who are you? The second one is, you will never fully know who you are unless you know who God is. You will never fully know who you are unless you know who God is. You will never know who you are, who you fully are, unless you know the one who has brought you into this world, who is watching you, who cares about you, who is pursuing you, who loves you, who wants you to know him as he really is. Not necessarily as he's always represented or always talked about, but as he really is. Listen, a wrong view of God will lead always to a wrong view of yourself. Always. I want you to try something real quick. I've done this with a few of the pro guys that I work with. A little visualization. You know, just in the athletic world, we're used to this sort of thing. Visualization is a good thing. But I want you right there where you are. Here's what I want to try something real quick. If you'll do it for me. I know the TVs are going on, all that stuff. But if we'll close our eyes for a minute, I just want you to try something real quick. I want you right now, in your mind, to just do the best you can, but just imagine, visualize, standing before God. What does he look like? Notice it. I want you to look and see what he looks like. I want you to notice his body language, his posture, the expression on his face. All right, you don't have to share what you saw, but here's the thing. I've tried this exercise with a few guys before. It's very revealing. Whatever you picture in that moment is actually very revealing of how you view God. And again, I've done this before with different guys, but sometimes you get guys and some of the descriptions are, he looks very far away, or he looks very serious, very strict. He looks disappointed. Sometimes he's got his arms crossed, just looking like, when are you going to get it right? If any of you viewed God in that way at all, I'm here to tell you, you got a wrong view of who God is. Because that's not what God looks like, and that's not how he looks at you. God is so gracious. He's so patient. He watches you. He cares about you. He wants what is best for you. And he has proven it in human history by coming into this world and dying on a cross for us. He's proven how much he cares about you. He's already proven it. And so if you got a view of God where he looks angry at you, or he's disappointed in you, or he's strict, wants nothing to do with you, you got the wrong view of God. God is gracious. He's merciful. He's patient. Here I was dishonoring him, misrepresenting to the people around me, and yet he didn't give up on me, and he never held that against me. He just forgave me and said, if you want all in, let's do this. And life hasn't been the same since. I began to see that I wasn't what I do, I wasn't what I have, and I wasn't what other people say about me. I was a loved son of the Creator and King of the universe. a son of the Creator and King of the universe. That's who I am, and nobody could take that away from me except my own refusal to embrace that kind of relationship with him. And that changed the trajectory of my life. God stepped in and helped me. He didn't have to do that, but God, just out of his mercy and love, stepped in and woke me up through some random girl in a bar in Hollywood, California. And I don't know, but maybe for someone here tonight, he's trying to do the same thing to you through some random speaker at a banquet here in Dublin, Georgia. I don't know. But I do know he wanted me to be here. And I felt like this is what he wanted me to share. Listen, God loves you. He's proven it through the life of Jesus. If you want to know what God is like, man, I can't tell you enough. Just study the life of Jesus. He's shown us what God is really like. And listen, there is so much I would love to sit here and share with you. We don't have the time. I'm not even very good at it in this sort of context. But I'm just telling you, it's changed my life. It's real. This is not just something that, we talk about on Sunday and then we just leave it on Sunday. It's real. It changed my life. And I swear to you, I'm so passionate about this and believe in this so much and care enough that, listen, if you got any doubts, any questions, anything you want to talk about, any further conversation you want to have, I'm available, man. All you have to do is come up to me and talk to me after this. I'll give you my number. I'm not worried about that. We can talk. We can meet. You can text. I don't care. I'm here for you. I want you to know what I now know. And I want you to get it at a young age before you make some of the foolish decisions that I made just because you don't know who you are. And so we got to wrap this up because I'm past my time. But listen, the story ended well, or the story continues, I guess. But the way the athletic career ended, so I decided to go back and play one more season, like I told you. I told God, let's do it. I'm all in, whatever. I decided to go back. I was going to play one more season. I ended up playing 7 more seasons, 6 of those being in AAA, parts of 3 of those being in the big leagues. And listen, I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, trying to tell you, follow Jesus and he'll make all your dreams come true. Follow Jesus and you'll just start killing it on the field. That's not what I'm trying to say. I definitely had some ups and downs along the way. My career actually ended short because of 2 season-ending injuries back to back. But I do think the reason I started to experience a lot more success in the game was because I discovered who I was. And it freed me up, man. It freed me up. I played free. I was fearless. I didn't care. Failure didn't bother me anymore. Because it wasn't attached to who I was. I played with so much peace it didn't matter. And when the time came, I was able to walk away from the game that I loved so much because I knew Jesus was going to take care of me. And it was all good. I wasn't worried about it. And so I retired from baseball in 2012. As you heard earlier, I immediately came on staff with Unlimited Potential. We work with professional athletes. We help them discover that they too are more than what they do, what they have, and what other people say about them. They too are loved sons of the Creator and King of the universe. And just like for you and me, he invites them to experience the kind of life that Jesus has made possible for all of us. So, the 2 big things I want to put before you tonight are these 2 questions. Who are you? And who is God? Very simple. Not simple to answer, but simple to think about. Who are you and who is God? Because your answer to those 2 questions will be the 2 most important things in determining who you will become when you grow up. You are not what you do. You are not what you have. You are not what other people say about you. You are a loved son of the Creator and King of the universe. You're his boy. Nobody can take that from you. You don't have to worry about your life. You can trust Jesus and experience the life you were made to live. I appreciate you guys. I feel like I appreciate this opportunity. I would love to close by just praying for all of you, if that's cool. Father in heaven, I don't know, it always feels a little overwhelming to come and try to speak on your behalf. I just want everybody in here to know you as you really are, and to experience the reality of your presence, the reality of your life-changing power. I want everybody in here to be set free from fear, from worrying about failure, from the opinions and judgments of others, from the lies of the enemy. And I want everybody in here to experience the life that you have made available to us. And so I do pray that if I have said anything that resonates with anybody in here, that you would give them the courage to either talk to me or talk to somebody about it. But Father, I thank you for this time. I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for these young men in here. And I ask that you would do a mighty work in each one of them, and that they would become leaders in their social circles, in their circles of influence, and that they would not be afraid to be different. You have called us to be different, and I ask that they would not be afraid to be different and to truly go all in and live for you. Lord, may it be so. And I ask for this in your name, Lord Jesus. Thank you. Amen.
Hi, I'm Tom Dominy. Here at W. Nelson, we pride ourselves on providing the industry's highest quality products at the most competitive pricing. We are a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry, and we can answer your questions and help you get the parts and equipment you need. From mowing to Renee, we carry the plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products you need from the brands you trust. We also carry a great lineup of Milwaukee tools. At W. Nelson, our goal is the long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. If you have a question, or if you're looking for a hard-to-find part, give us a call. Our experts are ready to help. Order online, give us a call, or come by at 507 Airport Road in Dublin. We're committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. As the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right all year round. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available, or save up to $2,500.
Products you can count on, a name you can trust. That's Mid-State Tractor and Equipment.
Hey, it's Stephanie again here at Shamrock Honda Kawasaki CF Motos, and I wanted to tell you about our CF Moto 4x4s. Perfect to get you in the deer stand or in your deer blind, and excellent once you kill that big buck to get it out of the woods. We have them in a variety of colors, including camouflage, emerald green, and reds. Come see us today for our full lineup of CF Moto 4x4s at 106 Savannah Avenue, East Dublin, Georgia. 478-272-4563.
Hey, this is Perry with Williamson's Bakery. We've been serving in Dublin, Lawrence County since 1965. At Williamson's Bakery, we put a little extra love in everything we make. Check us out on Facebook, or you can call us at 272-3344. Better yet, just come get you some. We're located at 1634 Veterans Boulevard.